Smiling Jasmine. Very good.
After 70 days, 3 hours and 48 minutes, Jasmine Harrison arrived in Antigua as a record breaker.
Well done, Jasmine. Good job, Jasmine.
Welcome to Antigua.
The youngest solo female to row 3,000 miles across the Atlantic.
After rowing 18 hours and hardly sleeping. I did it just as a challenge after seeing the finish line here in Nelson Dockyard 3 years ago. It just happened to be that I would be the youngest. That doesn't really bother me, world record, all that. Not a big sort of target, it was just to do the challenge.
It wasn't all plain sailing. Jasmine's boat capsized twice during the race, a frightening experience for her and her family.
When I'm the one hearing the news, she'll phone me up after and say, I know she's fine at that point. It's been worse for her going through it. So actually I'm hearing it after the event. So it's okay, it's kind of more wondering what's going to come next.
Her supporters back home in Thirsk had little doubt that Jasmine would persevere.
There's a certain element to standing next to your pal, pulling a pint, being like, oh, so you're going to row the ocean? Yeah, it's just something to do in it. And you're like, all right, Jazz, no worries. And then the more she spoke about it, the more you could see the passion in her. You could see she'd speak to everyone about it. Everyone was so invested in her. It just became so apparent that this is Jasmine's life goal. This is what's going to happen, and everybody knew that.
Frances Davies is one of the few people who can understand what Jasmine has been through. 5 years ago, she was part of the Yorkshire Rose team that became the oldest all-female crew to complete the challenge, and she was glad of the company.
We had each other to rely on, we had each other to talk to. Whenever we had a low moment, there was always someone in the boat with a high moment, so someone to talk to, someone to share the experience with. I cannot imagine, I don't think I could have done it on my own. I wouldn't have done it on my own, I'd only do it with some friends.
To put Jasmine's feat into perspective, more people have climbed Everest than have ever rowed an ocean. It clearly takes a special kind of person to do it at all. To do it solo, and at the age of just 21, is truly remarkable. Fraser Maud, Sky News, Thirsk.